Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I think, well, everyone struggles with sometimes in this AI age. It's that moment,
Yeah.
You have this incredibly powerful tool, but half the time, it just doesn't get what you're asking for.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge bottleneck. You ask for, say, a simple recipe, and instead you get this confusing word soup.
Or you need a professional email, and it spits out, I don't know, a surrealist poem about flying cats. We've all been there, right?
Exactly. And the paradox is these models in 2025 are technically amazing. Billions, literally billions of parameters processing information. But all that power is kind of useless if the input, the prompt, isn't right.
Right. So today we're diving deep into prompt engineering. It's the art, maybe the science, of crafting those instructions effectively. And this isn't just guesswork. We've looked at a lot of research, including analysis from over 1,500 academic papers.
Yeah, and the consensus is clear. Prompt engineering isn't just nice to have. It's pretty much the discipline that significantly boosts AI performance and accuracy. It's how you control the output.
So our mission today is simple, really. We want to equip you, our listeners, with the tools to, well, dominate your AI interactions, to become a prompt master.
We'll cover key ideas, things like few-shot prompting and chain of thought. The goal is to help you cut down on those frustrating results, maybe by, say, 50%. Practical guides suggest that's doable.
Absolutely. Consider this your guide. We've laid out 15 actionable tricks, starting with the basics and moving to more advanced stuff, all backed by examples and evidence. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first things first. Where do most prompts go wrong? From what I've seen, it often boils down to just vagueness.
That's exactly right. We kind of have to train ourselves to think a bit more like the machine expects, which leads us straight into trick one. Be specific. Think like a detective, hunting for clues. Precision is everything. It cuts down ambiguity, makes the output much more relevant. If you just ask for a report, well, the AI has a million directions it could go.
Right. So instead of just, tell me about climate change, which is huge, you need to narrow it down. Maybe something like, explain the impact of climate change on Latin American agriculture, specifically in 2025, using UN data, and also suggest 3 practical solutions, much clearer.
And the difference in output quality is night and day. There's actually a useful tip from the analysis we looked at. Aim for maybe 20 to 50 words for that core instruction. It seems to be a sweet spot. Enough detail, but not so much that it overwhelms the initial processing.
Okay, 20, 50 words, be specific. Got it. Now, what about the words we use? Does that matter as much?
Hugely. The AI is incredibly literal. Vague words are like poison to good performance. This brings us to trick 7. Avoid ambiguity. Be the clear captain of your prompt.
Trick 7. We jumped ahead.
Good catch. Let's stick to the order. We'll get to ambiguity in a moment. First, let's cover structure. Sorry. Jump the gun, no problem.
So after specificity, structure is next.
Right. Setting boundaries for the output format. This is trick 6. Specify the format. It's a best practice, honestly, especially if you need structured data.
Okay, so if I need a comparison, I shouldn't just ask for pros and cons.
You could, but it's better to demand a specific structure. Ask for a table and define the columns. Problem, solution, impact, for instance.
Or we could ask for a numbered list. Maybe even with emojis if that's useful.
Exactly. Or, for developers listening, explicitly ask for JSON output with a specific schema. You're the architect. Tell the AI precisely how to build it.
That makes sense. Control the output structure. Now, about those vague words you mentioned earlier.
Yes. Back to trick 7. Avoid ambiguity. Let's take a word like good. What does good even mean to an AI? When you use a vague term like that, the language model sees a massive branching tree of possible meanings, synonyms, interpretations. It's huge.
So it creates noise.
Precisely. But if you replace good with something concrete like effective and ethical, you've instantly pruned that tree way down. The AI has a much clearer path.
I like that tree analogy, pruning the possibilities.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb. Read your prompt out loud. If you hesitate or aren't sure exactly what you mean by a word, you can bet the AI will struggle too. Clarify it.
Okay, that covers the output. What about input? Especially if I'm giving the AI a lot of text to work with, like summarizing a long article.
Great question. You need to help the AI distinguish between your instructions and the data it needs to process. That's trick 9. Use delimiters. Think of it like putting your data in a gift box.
Delimiters, like putting quotes around the text. Why is that so important? Is it just visual separation?
It's more than visual. It's about managing the AI's context window, its working memory. LLMs process things sequentially. By using delimiters, triple quotes, text here, are common, or even just 3 dashes. You're saying, hey, AI, everything outside these markers is my command. Everything inside is the stuff to analyze.
Ah, so it prevents the data itself from accidentally being interpreted as part of the instruction.
Exactly. It keeps the core command clear, especially with long inputs. It defines those boundaries clearly.
Makes sense. Okay, one more for this foundational section. How do we stop the AI from just rambling? Sometimes you ask for a summary and get an essay.
Yes, that's trick 14. Limit the scope. You have to set boundaries on length and focus. Otherwise, the AI often defaults to being overly comprehensive. You want a specific galaxy, not the whole universe.
So be explicit up front. Things like write a maximum of 200 words about, or focus only on the top 3 key findings.
Precisely. It forces conciseness and ensures you get the most important information quickly without the fluff.
All right, we've got the basic structure down. Be specific, clear format, avoid ambiguity, use delimiters, limit scope. Now let's add some depth. How do we make the AI sound like it knows what it's talking about?
This is where we give the AI an identity. Trick 2. Assign a role. It's incredibly effective. You literally start your prompt with act as a
Ah, the role-playing prompts. I've heard about these.
Yes. By assigning a role, act as a Michelin star chef, act as a senior Python developer, act as a skeptical historian, you immediately align the AI's knowledge base, its tone, even its vocabulary, with that persona.
So instead of just give me recipe ideas, it's act as a nutritionist specializing in low-carb diets. Much better results, I bet. Someone even told me they use "You are Sherlock Holmes solving my email backlog," which is creative.
Whatever works. It dramatically shifts the output quality because the AI tunes itself to that role's expectations.
Okay, so we give it a role. What about the situation itself? Does providing background help?
Absolutely crucial. That's trick 3. Provide context. You know those weird hallucinations AI sometimes produces? Made up facts or completely irrelevant tangents.
Yeah, those can be frustrating. Or funny, depending on the context.
Well, often they happen because the AI lacks the necessary background. You need to paint the picture for it.
So examples like, based on the fact that my company is a small tech startup trying to raise seed funding, or given my severe allergy to peanuts, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or, in the context of the 2025 European semiconductor market, analyze this strategy. Just 2 or 3 sentences are usually enough. There's a balance, though. Give it the essential background, the color, but don't overwhelm it with too much detail in the context section. Keep it brief.
Got it. Context is key, but keep it concise. Now, what about tasks that are more about style or specific patterns? Like if I wanted to write like a specific author, just describing it seems hard.
You're right, describing style is tricky for an AI. This is where one of the most powerful techniques comes in. Trick 4. Use examples. This is technically known as few-shot prompting.
Few-shot. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means you show the AI the pattern you want instead of just telling it. You provide 1 or more input-output examples directly in the prompt.
Oh, I see. So like if I wanted it to translate slang, I give it example input. That's sick. Example output. That's amazing. Now translate. It's all Gucci.
Precisely. You provide the template. Input, gatto. Output, Felino Vuitton. Now, for Perot, the AI learns the desired style or transformation from your examples. It's incredibly effective for style mimicry, specific formatting, or any task where the pattern is key.
Wow. Okay. That feels like a real step up in control. Showing, not just telling. Okay, we've covered clarity, structure, context, roles, examples. What about when things get complicated, like actual problem solving, math, or maybe planning something with multiple steps?
Yeah, this is where we need to help the AI think more logically. And that brings us to a really seminal technique, trick 5, chain of thought, often abbreviated as COTI.
Chain of thought. Sounds intriguing. How does it work?
It's surprisingly simple to implement. You just add a phrase like reason step by step before providing the answer, or think this through step by step to your prompt.
Like that's it? Just telling it to think step by step makes a difference.
How? It does, significantly, especially for math problems, logic puzzles, planning tasks. What it does is it forces the AI to, well, externalize its reasoning process. Instead of jumping straight to a conclusion, which might be flawed, it has to map out the intermediate steps.
So if I asked it to plan a vacation, it would first think about step 1, destination, then step 2, budget, step 3, itinerary, and actually articulate those steps in its process.
Exactly. It makes the reasoning process visible and, more importantly, allocates computational effort to those intermediate steps. This drastically reduces logical errors in complex, multi-step tasks. It seems counterintuitive, making the prompt slightly longer, but the payoff in accuracy is often huge.
Okay, that's clever. Forcing it to show its work,
Yeah.
essentially. What about really big, complex tasks? Does Qt handle everything?
Qt helps, but for truly large projects, you might need another approach. Trick 8. Divide complex tasks. Think of them as mini-quests.
Break it down.
Right. If you give the AI one giant, sprawling instruction, it can experience something like cognitive overload. Its attention gets diffused.
So instead of analyze this entire business plan and suggest improvements, you'd say.
You'd break it down. 1. Summarize the executive summary in 3 sentences. 2. Identify the top 3 weaknesses in the financial projections. 3. Suggest one alternative marketing strategy. Use numbering 1, 2, 3 to make the separate steps really clear.
Mini quests. I like that. It makes the big task feel more manageable, probably for both me and the AI.
Definitely. And speaking of understanding the AI's process, what if the output just feels off? Like, it gives you an answer, but you're not sure you trust it.
Yeah, how do you check its work if it doesn't automatically show it using chain of thought?
That's where trick 12, ask for explained reasoning, comes in. This uses a concept called self-consistency. You explicitly ask the AI why it gave the answer it did. Explain your reasoning for this conclusion.
Ah, like pulling back the curtain.
Exactly. It forces the AI to justify its output, to retrace its logical steps. It's fantastic for debugging. Remember that anecdote about an AI model insisting penguins could fly?
Vaguely, yeah.
It only revealed its flawed reasoning. Maybe it confused them with other birds when the user specifically asked why it thought penguins could fly. Asking why is the ultimate sanity check. It helps expose flawed assumptions in the AI's process.
So chain of thought helps it reason better upfront. Breaking tasks down manages complexity, and asking for reasoning helps us audit the results. Makes sense.
Okay, so we've built a strong foundation. We know how to structure prompts, add context, guide logic, but prompt engineering isn't usually a one-shot deal, right?
Definitely not. My first attempt is rarely perfect.
Exactly. And that brings us to the mindset of improvement, which involves trick 10. Iterate and refine. Think of it as a dance with the AI. Your first prompt is just the opening move.
So it's about using the AI's response to improve the next prompt.
Precisely. You get an output, you analyze it, and you refine your instruction. Okay, based on that answer, let's try this again, but make the tone more humorous. Or, that's good, but now incorporate these 3 specific data points.
Constantly asking, how can this be better?
Yes. Continuous optimization. Small tweaks can lead to significant gains over a few cycles. Don't settle for the first output if it's not quite right.
Good advice. Now, are there any, linguistic tricks we can use during that refinement?
There is one that's surprisingly effective. Trick 11. Use positive language. Frame your instructions around what you want, not what you want to avoid.
Interesting. So instead of saying, don't make any spelling errors,
You'd say, ensure all spelling is correct. Or instead of don't include jargon, say, use clear, accessible language.
why does that work better?
Well, processing negatives adds a small cognitive step for the AI. Okay, identify X, then don't do X. Positive framing is more direct, do Y. It seems to subtly bias the model towards producing the desired positive outcome. Avoid the no's and don'ts where possible. Motivate the puppy, don't just scold it.
Motivate the puppy. I like that. Okay, now let's get really advanced. What's on the cutting edge?
One really interesting area is trick 13, meta prompting. This is where you actually get the AI to help you write better prompts.
Wait, you asked the AI to critique your own prompt.
Exactly. You leverage its knowledge about prompt engineering. You could say something like, you are an expert prompt engineer. Review the following prompt and rewrite it for maximum clarity and effectiveness for achieving goal.
Whoa! So the AI optimizes its own instructions before even running them?
Essentially, yes. It can refine your wording, suggest adding context it knows it needs, or even restructure the prompt based on best practices like few shot if applicable. It's like having an AI assistant for your AI assistant.
That's pretty meta. Okay, final trick. This one sounds a bit technical. Temperature.
Trick 15, experiment with temperature. This one is mostly for users who are working directly with AI models via APIs where they have access to these parameters, not usually an option in standard chat interfaces.
Okay, so what is temperature in this context?
Yeah.
Heating up the AI.
Not quite. Think of it as a dial controlling randomness or creativity. It influences how the AI chooses the next word or token. A low temperature, say close to zero, makes the AI very focused, deterministic, and factual. It picks the most likely, predictable words. Good for analysis, summarization, factual
At
recall.
high temperature.
Cranking the temperature up, closer to 1 or even higher, introduces more randomness. The AI is more likely to pick less common, more unexpected words. This leads to more creative, novel, sometimes surprising, or even nonsensical output.
So low temp for facts, high temp for fiction, or brainstorming.
That's a good way to think about it. Low for precision, high for novelty and creativity. It's a powerful lever if you have access to it, letting you fine-tune that balance between sticking to the script and exploring new ideas. Hashtag text tag outro.
Wow, okay, that was a whirlwind tour through 15 distinct tricks. We went from basic specificity all the way to meta prompting and temperature controls.
It really covers the spectrum, doesn't it?
It does. And the big takeaway for me, and hopefully for you listening, is that prompt engineering isn't some dark art. It's more like fun science.
Yeah.
And it delivers real results.
Mhm.
Getting good at this really does feel like gaining AI superpowers.
Absolutely. The quality of the output directly mirrors the quality and thoughtfulness of the input. But it's also about that iterative process we discussed. The best interaction isn't just about knowing the tricks, it's about applying them, seeing the result, and then thinking critically about how to improve it next time. Constant learning, constant refinement.
Right. So we can't just leave you with theory. We have a challenge. We want you to take 3 specific tricks we discussed today and apply them right now, or at least today. Specifically, try using trick 1, be specific, trick 5, chain of thought, and trick 10, iterate and refine.
Yeah, pick a real task you need to do, drafting an email, brainstorming ideas, summarizing something. Apply those 3 techniques. Be specific, ask it to think step by step, and then refine the output at least once based on the first result.
Notice the difference it makes. We're pretty confident you'll see a significant improvement.
Go out there and start experimenting. Become that prompt master.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
And one final thought to leave you with. Remember, the most powerful AI tool isn't just the model itself. It's you, armed with the right techniques and a critical mind.